get any more open world than that. Yeah, and you want to know what you do on 99%
Nothing.
of those 1,000 planets?
Nothing.
You walk and walk and walk.
I've gotten more pleasure from playing Death F***ing Stranding, Kojima's latest attempt of making us OD on... Hello there, gentlemen. 2 months ago, we talked about the quite polarizing game, and that is Starfield, through a self-syntax video. A lot of you did enjoy my commentary on the origin of RPGs and why it is that one should definitely not have expected a good game out of Starfield. It's not like I want to hate the game, but it's an unfortunate and inconvenient truth. Michael Moore, that Bethesda isn't and hasn't been the company that some of us fell in love with for quite some time. And if I'm totally honest, I would not like to have this type of discussions, because what we often find out is that people like games for different reasons. Even ones that are considered to be very bad are still going to be loved. Case in point, me falling in love with one of the weirdest titles of the year, Wanted Dead, and enjoying the hell out of it by the end of it. But 2023 having been one of, if not the year where I truly got to enjoy a lot of games, having free time to play through them and actually following along with gaming news, I have truly gotten to understand the rage that a lot of players are feeling when bad products, bad games are being handed to them. Because for one, these are things that you are paying with your hard-earned cash, and two, when the people whom you are buying the games from don't even want you to own said games. I'm talking about you, PlayStation, who are right now just removing like the licensing from game ownership. Like, I seriously can't believe that in 2023 we need to urge people to perhaps ask their representatives to advocate for some governmental regulations for game purchase licensing. It's crazy. But that's Sony and PlayStation. You, Microsoft and Bethesda specifically, going once again for the paid mods, the people who continuously keep on patching the games for you when you cannot even fathom to fix it yourself. Haven't you learned from the previous endeavor of trying to make paid mods, where you of course would have wanted to skim a little bit from the top? Yes, for those of you who are unaware, Bethesda once again want to do that thing of having mods being paid for, where they of course will be getting a cut. So if you've recently updated your version of Skyrim and your mods are no longer available or functional, you now know why. But I'm sorry for being just a little bit too inspired in this intro. It really gets to me. But I wanted today to watch a video, or at least react to one that has been on my feed for like 2 days now, from NakeyJakey, who has done a lot of things on both Rockstar before and Naughty Dog's game design, and this time around of course on Bethesda in his series of outdated game design. So I just really wanted to watch it and add some commentary to it, my own thoughts on Bethesda and the situation. So please do make sure to go and like and subscribe to the man and his channel. A great guy. He has many reviews and also that take on not just game design alone, but a lot of other things. He's a very good channel. Please go and check him out. That being said though, let's jump into the video. On a grassy field.
I have made not one, but 2 separate videos claiming that Blank's game design is outdated. And while I'm very proud of those videos and I pretty confidently stand by those critiques, I wasn't planning on ever using the same outdated title again, because I just didn't want it to become this gross YouTuber-y series where I'm just the outdated guy.
What is up, gamers? Welcome back to part 39 of Outdated Stuff. Today, we're going to be taking a look at this expired banana on my counter.
It is, in fact.
If that ain't outdated, then you better call the dog catcher, because it must be raining cats and dogs out here. But when thinking about the past 10 years of Bethesda Game Studios' catalog, Fallout 4, Fallout 76, a billion more versions of Skyrim, and Starfield,
there is not a more succinct or accurate word to describe how I feel about these games. I have personally made things that some people did not like and criticized, and that's great. Honestly, that's fine. That's exactly how it should be. Why am I saying that right now?
Just to say that I know what it feels like. I want to make it clear that I have a lot of respect and appreciation for the hardworking individual devs that crunch 12-hour days to release AAA games on time that we all get to play.
Thank you.
Yes, no doubt. Devs are working incredibly hard to put out some amazing things out there. Some don't always get the recognition that they deserve to have. Arcane Studio, not for the recent blunders with that vampire game. I've already forgotten what it's called. That's perhaps for the better. Others like Remedy Studios are finally gaining the time to shine, but still we can criticize the things that are being put out. Like, for example, I love Control. Doesn't take away from the fact that Control story is a bit all over the place, and there are certain mechanics that are completely useless once you know that throwing rocks is like the best thing to do in the game. So we appreciate you, yet we can still criticize you.
Thank you for making video games, everyone who makes video games out here in the prairie.
So I promise I don't mean to be hyperbolic or dramatic just for the sake of it when I say I am truly baffled by Starfield. It is seriously shocking to see just how little this game attempts to improve or even successfully reuse the same formula and same Frankenstein game engine that Bethesda have been selling to their fans for well over a decade. I cannot understand how this is the space adventure Todd Howard has dreamt of making for 25 years and cooked in the oven for 8.
But I wanted to try. I really wanted to understand. I wanted to love this troubled game so badly.
And I stayed committed to this relationship for hours and hours and hours, ignoring every possible red flag that came my way. But I can't do it anymore. And
No.
I feel like I have to make this video just purely for my own sanity.
No, this one is for me because this damn space game changed me.
You know that it's getting serious when you have to pump up the ball. And oh man, he even plays it in Classic. Go on.
People often describe Bethesda games as Bethesda games, but what does that even mean? In 2011, I would have said open world action RPG where you could go anywhere, do anything, good or
It's
evil,
just the action
knight
now.
or wizard, but you're definitely going to be a sneak archer like every single time without fail. To me, it meant giant world with total player freedom to do what they wanted to do. Don't like someone? Shoot them in the face. Want someone's stuff? Sneak behind their waist. Want to climb that mountain? Hump it on the face. Fallout 3 was my first Betty game after convincing my dad that, nah, dude, it's not violent at all. You don't have to be violent. You could choose to be good and talk your way out of every situation.
Which was total fucking bullcrap.
Yes, these games might be RPGs, but they heavily lean on the action part of action
yeah.
RPG. Can you
And why
sometimes
is that?
do quests non-violently? Definitely. But more often than not, your to-do list revolves around you killing people and things and spiders and ghouls, and there's usually not a whole lot of wiggle room around that part.
And just like I mentioned in the Seth video, it has all to do with the people who are behind it. Like recent god-awful storytelling writing aside, because yes, they haven't exactly been phenomenal by any means. Before they were working under the Bethesda umbrella, you had companies like Black Isle, Interplay, and later, of course, Obsidian, who all had their start with what? Narrative-based RPGs like JRPGs. These of course have their plus and downsides. They are heavily text-based, right? They emphasize a lot of reading, which some people might not care too much about, but they also prioritize the player narrative. You are the driving force of the story being told, and for that reason, the text that is written for each and every character in the game is very well written to keep your attention, to keep you hooked. This, of course, immediately gives you more agency, and despite the fact that combat was the emphasis at the time, once more computer-based RPGs started being developed, right, with the growing processing power, we could now also focus on the mechanical aspect of things, giving us the role-playing gameplay and improv storytelling spirit that we know from those type of games. That's why previous titles that were not made by Bethesda are so much different. And if you're still in doubt, think about the companies that branched out of that, or at least worked on the Interplay in the beginning. You had things like things like CD Projekt Red, right? They started there. BioWare as well, until they of course started losing their mind. But originally these companies had a solid foundation until the very sad, repeated narrative came into play. Greed taking over.
A a lot of the time your choices are boiled down to, okay, so do you want to set him on fire first and then shoot him, or just do him raw? If you play Fallout New Vegas, made by Obsidian, those are some RPG-ass RPG choices.
Fuck yeah.
I feel like the player has way more freedom to express themselves morally, ethically, whatever in a given quest. But as much as I gush about New Vegas on this channel, there is something missing in this game when compared to Fallout 3.
Atmosphere. I think Bethesda typically crushes that shit.
Even though New Vegas is a
Fair.
much better game mechanically, Betty's World felt a lot more engrossing to explore. Even if a lot of the supposed freedom promised to the player is kind of an illusion. You know, you can't actually kill anyone if they're an essential NPC for a quest line, they just take a nap on the floor. Still, Bethesda does a really great job at making you feel like you're on this grand adventure.
And the soundtracks, dude, oh my god, the Skyrim soundtrack alone might be up there with Chrono Trigger for like the greatest video game score ever made.
Minesweeper 3D.
You feel like you're living inside
Are you seriously? Are you seriously considering Minesweeper 3D?
of an ancient blade made of suede. Oh my god, I'm getting really fucking tired of always coming home to this dude saying some more stupid crap. Hi, I'm Jakey, and Jakey, attorneys at law. Thanks to Opera GX for sponsoring this video. Is your browser boring? Does it make you want to go outside? No, don't go out there, there's wolves out
Ew.
there. Opera GX is a web browser for gamers that you can customize. In the GX store located over here, you can get a variety of browser mods, such as my own, that have their own background music, keyboard sounds, opening and closing of tab sounds, theme and color of the browser itself, unique wallpaper. You can also disable and enable specific mods in the mods menu located on the sidebar. Does your web browser keep you informed on all things gaming? It doesn't? What the hell? With the GX corner located over here, Opera GX will keep you up to date with free games, the best deals, the hottest new releases, and gaming news all in one convenient corner. Look at this deal. Look at this deal. Are you seeing the deals? Look at the fucking deals, Derek. Don't worry about losing.
Okay, I'm gonna ask a very stupid question here. How good is Risk of Rain 2? I know that it's most likely sitting on an overwhelmingly positive score, but like, you know, there are a lot of games that do that just simply for trolling, or this review-wise. But I suppose it is very good. If it's one that you recommend, I would like to check it out. Because I need something that is fast-paced, something that's going to trigger my neurons. So perhaps.
all your stuff from those other browsers. Opera GX has a handy import tool to quickly take all of your shit like bookmarks and cookies and browsing history from your old rinky-dink browser to your sexy new sports car browser. And Opera GX also works with every Google Chrome extension. If you download Opera GX using my special link located here or down below, you'll also have access to a unique feature where you'll see all of my 12 most recent videos in your GX corner. So
NPCs. Oh, okay. I haven't watched that yet.
Use this link located down below to download Opera GX today. Thanks again to Mr. GX for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on back to whatever the hell Super NakeyJakey 64 is. He's counting stars. Let's see if he counts all 120 of them. He probably didn't even do TikTok clock yet. Worthless piece of shit. But because Bethesda games are so unique and so dearly beloved by so many fans, people often give them a free pass when it comes to certain issues because, it's a Bethesda game. What are you gonna do? Issues
I know.
such as dated melee combat and extremely dated gun combat, even for the time. Brain dead enemy AI. Clunky UIs that always have to be fixed with mods. Optimization and performance issues that always have to be fixed with mods. Enough bugs to fill a fucking terrarium that always have to be fixed with mods. If any other AAA shooter had the same issues that Fallout 3 had, where the guns barely even function,
We would have raged. We would have rioted.
What?
Damn it, I was trying to make a play on like both the Rage game as well as which is made by published by Bethesda and Riot Games with the way that people tend to make fun of Valorant, but damn it, that didn't go through.
and cast bullets from their mouths like spells from a wizard's sleeve. And the game ran at 6 frames per second on the PS3 because, oops, you saved too many times, don't do that. People would riot. But because these issues are part of a giant package and the appeal is usually greater than a sum of its janky parts, people just kind of go,
Yeah, bro.
what are you gonna do?
It's a Bethesda game.
Which, sure, maybe in 2008, maybe some of this stuff could be ignored. But it is not 2008 anymore.
Hell, it is not even 2011, my brother.
In
Fuck
a
Skyrim.
post-Skyrim world where they have re-released that game so many times and it has sold over...
And it's still buggy. It is... I don't think that you understand this. released the game so many times have had the opportunity of including all of the fixes made by the community in the way that CDPR did in 3 years' time. They couldn't go so far as to just do the bare minimum.
60 million copies now. The whole, but it's a Bethesda game excuse is, you guessed it,
Shit from a butt.
Fallout 4 was when I could no longer stay blind to Bethesda's strong reluctance to leave the caveman Stone Age prehistoric time.
Dude, you can still feel all of the typical...
I'm sorry, I almost didn't read the Bethesda Lutheran School there. Yeah, of course, yeah. I've seen Bethesda hospitals in the past, like, of course, a reference to the healing pool of Bethesda in Jerusalem. Whatever. It was just, it's funny that he finds those locales to film all this.
Dude, you can still feel all of the typical creation jank underneath everything.
You still had to edit an INI file to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration. The physics were still tied to the frame rate. The load times could still go on for an eternity. But hey, at least they made guns function like kind of actual guns this time, which should be the bare minimum for a first-person shooter in 2015. Meanwhile, Halo's 14 getting ready for her winter formal. Simple things for a shooter like swapping weapons or throwing grenades felt super unresponsive and wonky, like the game was constantly fighting you on every delayed input. And again, 2015, this wasn't like a long time ago. But man, I still played the shit out of this game, and Fallout 4 is the most bare bones RPG. Where Fallout New Vegas went left toward old school traditional Fallout games, Fallout 4 was like, all right, so it's kind of like janky Minecraft, but with guns. Which turns out is actually pretty fun. The gameplay loop of exploring a detailed Bethesda world filled with cool stuff, getting loot and supplies from fighting baddies and using VATs, using those supplies to upgrade your guns, working on your settlements with the janky-ass builder that also has to be fixed with mods. It was all pretty fun to me. Objectively, my critic brain is like, yeah, this game has a lot of flaws and the dialogue system really sucks and the perk tree sucks and the role-playing options are basically non-existent. And the main story makes like zero sense if you stop and think about it, because if someone was searching for their kidnapped baby son, why would they stop and help a bunch of other families first and eat 100 rad roaches? But subjectively, my Bethesda brain is like, ooh, boy, I better scrounge up some more of these desk fans. People call it jank, and there is a lot of jank in Fallout 4. Like, any area downtown just straight up doesn't run well at all. For what it was, I had fun with Fallout 4. But what it was unfortunately a very crystal clear sign that Bethesda was falling behind the times harder than ever before. Also, I went to kindergarten and first grade here and walked home from school one day and realized we got out early because of 9/11. I don't know why I'm talking about that right now.
I wish I could say I was shocked when Fallout 76 turned out to be shit from a butt, but dude, I wasn't shocked at all.
I was trying to be on some cool guy shit, but the second I saw the reveal presentation and how it was gonna run on the same janky ass engine that barely manages to work as a single player
16 times the details.
It's gonna be multiplayer online, like www.com type online. Yeah, Todd, and I'll be a monkey's uncle. Oh, my sweet bimbo, you have returned. You all know this story. Game comes out, one of the worst launches ever. Bug terrarium is like 16 times the detail. Bethesda gets super scummy about refunds and then gets super scummy about pushing these overly priced microtransactions. Also cheaps out on the canvas bag that's supposed to be included in the collector's edition.
It was awful. Fallout 76 is like the poster child for taking advantage of a devout fan base and releasing a clearly unfinished, faulty product.
I'll see a lot of people online chalk up 76's failure to, well, it wasn't Todd and his main team that made the game. There was their B team, Bethesda Austin, but I'm pretty sure that's not the full story.
No. I don't agree with that either. Like, I swear, when it comes to Bethesda releases, it's almost like complete opposites all the time when we have discussions about those. Like, if it's a Bethesda developed game, you can't just blame one part of the studios, right? You can't say that, oh, it's this branch, the Austin branch, that did this wrong. That doesn't fly. Well, on the other side, when it's like another title that has nothing to do with Fallout and or Skyrim and or Starfield, you can be damn sure that it was either the publisher or somebody within like some bad administration that was forcing the team to put out something that was bad, like Rage 2. Most games that Arcane has put out after 2017, like Redfall, that's the name of the vampire game, I just realized that, where we found out that the Lyon team was not interested in working on it at all. Like it was dismantled halfway through the development because they didn't want to.
According to several anonymous devs that worked on 76, as quoted in this Kotaku article that you should check out, people from multiple Bethesda studios worked on this game. Senior staff from Fallout 4's team, staff taken away from the Starfield team, staff taken away from the Redfall team at Arcane, which, Jesus Christ, that's a whole thing on its own. Jiminy Cricket and a jockstrap. 76, as described in this article, sounded like a massive live service black hole that no one wanted to touch, because the writing was all over the bug-covered walls that it was never going to end well. But in typical AAA game dev fashion, QA teams get treated like total shit, and upper management ignores issues raised and continue to force everyone to crunch toward this deadline they knew they were never gonna make. And yeah, Todd Howard may have not directed 76, but he's still listed as executive producer. And he's the one that went on the big stage and was like, this is the biggest fucking game we've ever made. It's 16 times awesome. You're all gonna nut. Yo, run that John Denver joint. And the pre-orders go crazy and everyone's hyped out of their minds. And then it comes out and it's atrocious. And suddenly now Todd is all, yeah, we knew it wasn't gonna be like a high Metacritic score game, but you know what? It sold really well. It's not about how it starts, it's about what it becomes. Thank you very much. Yo, run that John Denver joint.
Come on, man.
According to that same article, Todd was very adamant on the whole no NPCs feature, no matter how much the dev team pleaded that it was an insane choice for Bethesda. You know, the studio most closely associated with NPCs. But also, maybe Todd isn't the main bad guy responsible, you know? Maybe he was just under a lot of pressure from big money investors at parent company ZeniMax to make a live service cash cow that would exploit fans and inevitably make a ton of money.
Okay, look, I don't know how to feel about that. Like, I know that ZeniMax have been very shitty towards many studios. Bringing back Arcane again because I'm a fanboy for the stuff. The co-CEO of it, Raphael Colantino, the Frenchman, left Arcane because of disputes with ZeniMax and their influence on how they were affecting his idea of what an actual immersive sim development cycle should be like. Forcing them to go to a pipeline that he did not agree with. That's why he went on to form his own thing and made Evil West. No, Evil West is the cowboy game. They're both cowboy games. Weird West. Sorry, Weird West. He went on to do that. So yes, ZeniMax have an influence there, but like, it's not as in we were talking about games that are being pulled out like Embracer Group, right? We constantly see that studios are unable to innovate because Embracer Group says, oh no, we're too risky to make a new IP, so we're gonna scrub this. They literally made a new thing with Starfield. How did that end up being bad? You get me?
I don't know all the details, but there's enough breadcrumbs to make it insane to me that someone along the food chain with authority, whether Todd or otherwise, didn't stop and adamantly scream, hey, let's maybe delay this game permanently.
But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Regardless of whose fault 76 was, the damage was done and the pressure was on. After an underwhelming and outdated Fallout 4 and an underbaked and severely malnourished Fallout 76, Bethesda really needed to reach for the Skyrim once again and dunk another classic into our laps.
Wow.
But Todd, he don't play basketball.
He plays chess.
3D chess. Oh, fuck.
As a kid, I was writing games when I was, 12, whatever. And the other kids in the block would say, I'm going to play quarterback for the Cowboys. And I'd be like, I'm going to make video games and everyone's going to play them. Like, you dork. Go back to the chess club. Who's laughing now? Yes, I was in the chess club.
It's hard not to like Todd Howard. He has this Michael Scott type charisma that's weirdly hard to resist.
And I find his story of repeatedly applying to Bethesda only to be rejected over and over really inspiring.
Because once he got his leather jacket ass wearing through that door, he would direct Morrowind, executive produce Oblivion, direct both Fallout 3 and Skyrim. Love him or hate him, the man's resume speaks for itself. And good God, would you look at that jacket. For being considered AAA, Bethesda is not a very big studio. Around 100 people made Skyrim, and they currently only employ like 420 people across all of their studios. For comparison, at least 1,000 people worked on GTA 5 before its release, and 6,000 different people have worked on it since, which is crazy to me considering how slow GTA Online still is.
I mean, go on. I mean, they found a golden cow they were going to be milking its tit for what? 11 years.
On the one
Wow.
hand, I think it's really impressive that Bethesda is much smaller than other big-name studios because it means they must have some really powerful paladins over there casting some serious buffs.
But also, when you're making that AAA money and your games continue to come out janky as shit,
Maybe hire some more fucking people to make your games actually function properly when you sell them for $70.
one source from that same article said, Bethesda is a big company that thinks it's a small company, with a mentality of, well, this worked in the 90s, so we're just gonna keep doing it. I mean, yeah, after playing Starfield, that's
Yeah, it feels
definitely
like
what
that.
it feels like. Boy, I'll tell you what, when I booted that sumbitch up, it's like seeing an X for the first time in 8 years. A poorly optimized X who struggles to have human-like facial expressions. Starfield isn't even just Skyrim again, but in space, which was always Todd's elevator pitch. No, it would be such an improvement if it
actually
But
was,
no,
yeah.
This is not a Bethesda game based on the definition the dumbass by the piano gave earlier. That signature Bethesda open world exploration and sense of scale and freedom and that feeling of, ooh, there's something interesting around every corner.
Gone.
But Jarbo, there's like 1,000 planets. How can it get any more open world than that? Yeah, and you want to know what you do on 99%
Nothing.
of those 1,000 planets?
Nothing.
You walk and walk and walk.
I've gotten more pleasure from playing Death F***ing Stranding, Kojima's latest attempt of making us OD on Bewilderness. You get more fun from playing that. It's a freaking AA title like Deliver Us the Moon. I can walk through the soil of Mars, enjoying myself more there because the actual mechanics that make wandering the landscape enjoyable. Whereas Starfield, what the hell?
And sprint and jump and jetpack jump and get really good at watching your O2 sprint meter go up and down and up and down. There is no rover to drive. There is no ship to fly. You just walk and walk and walk until you get to the most copy-pasted structure that you have already seen a bunch of times.
Starfield is the exploration equivalent of holding the Player 2 controller that isn't actually plugged in. It is the illusion of planetary exploration duct taped together by 1,000 loading screens and a strong desire to waste so much of your time.
Let's talk about fast travel.
Oh no, no. Listen, 2023 has been the year of the scams, and you cannot avoid drawing comparisons to games such as the ones released by Gamer Mill that constantly want to waste your time to make sure that you will never get that refund by including loading screen for changing clothes, exiting a building, interacting with characters and cutscenes that just are penning pictures. When a would-be AAA studio, I know, right? He explained that they are rather small. Yet still, when a would-be AAA studio isn't able to do what indie developers can do, I give up.
Can you say fast travel? Fast travel. Can you say loading screen? Loading screen.
Loading screen.
Loading screen. Loading screen before fast travel?
No.
After fast travel. Loading screen. Fast traveling to complete a quest. Fast traveling to start a quest. That's so silly. Loading screen. Peekaboo, loading screen. Can you say fast travel? Wasting your time? No, wasting my time?
Yes.
2023? Bethesda released this in 2023. Oh no! Can you say leather jacket?
In other Bethesda games, you wanted to walk to your destinations because fast travel
fear of missing out.
You might miss out on some neat dungeon or cool, unique structure or wacky enemy along the way.
Not only is fast travel highly recommended whenever possible in Starfield, but it is straight up required.
You cannot fly your ship from planet to planet or even on a single planet. You can enter your ship with a nice loading screen and then sit in your pilot's chair with a nice unskippable animation and then take off with another nice loading screen and then pick your destination from space and fast travel there with another loading screen and then click on the planet to land with another loading screen. Or if your destination is in space, do another unskippable animation to dock your ship followed by another immediate loading screen. But hopefully if you've already discovered the specific location you want to go to, you can just fast travel straight there. The second I realized I was avoiding my ship whenever possible, you know, the central core part of a space exploration game, it was over. The most heartbreaking part is that the ship builder is fucking amazing. It's like virtual Legos. It is by far the best new thing Bethesda did with this game. But where do you get to fly your ship that you just lovingly spent 3 hours making? In orbit! Yay!
Let's fucking go!
If you want to see your magnificent creation actually move around and fast travel on up to space and float around fighting bad guys and running away from cops with the awful bounty system, which I will get to later. I will spend way too much time talking about that later. What's really weird is that between the different elements you can mine on planets and the different things you can prioritize within the shipbuilder, there's enough breadcrumbs here to assume that at one point Starfield was probably more of a survival type space game, meaning that landing on a planet maybe served more of a purpose than just sort of wandering around aimlessly. Maybe the temperature changes in extreme conditions actually mattered more than they currently do, which is like, not really at all. The shipbuilder even has options to upgrade the fuel tanks or grav drive so that you can jump further into a system. But if you don't upgrade those things, that's fine too. You'll just have to fast travel to a closer system first and then fast travel to the one you actually want to go to. So upgrading
more loading
that stuff in the
screens
ship just saves you from seeing 2 loading screens, and now you only see 1. How is this game real?
Starfield has 1,000 planets, and I wish it had like 5.
Yeah, not every planet in real life space would have a bunch of cool stuff on it either.
Yeah, duh. But that's not my point.
My point is that this is not really a good illusion of anything other than the unfortunate passage of time. No.
And again, to the dev who went to respond on the YouTuber who pointed out these flaws, saying that the astronauts who went to the moon went there to see anything special, like they didn't find any mega structures on the moon either, to which I'm like, yes, but they weren't playing a freaking video game.
No Man's Sky can also have some boring ass procedurally generated planets.
Sure.
But you know what? At least you can actually fly to them. Playing Starfield is like watching a magician pull a rabbit out of a hat, but every time he's about to do it, he's like, no, you gotta close your eyes while I do it though. But what about what? I'm not a Best Buy Geek Squad looking ass. Don't say I am. Starfield may have been made with the shiny new creation engine too, but you ain't fooling anyone with that too, Todd. You may have slapped a spoiler on it, but it's still a fucking Geo Metro. I'm still editing an INI file just to change the FOV or turn off mouse acceleration to make aiming feel better. I'm still clicking on doors and seeing that all too familiar fade out loading screen all the time.
Why did you not optimize this game for PC?
Phil Spencer just being there.
It's running great. It is a next-gen PC game. We really do push the technology, so you may need to upgrade your PC for this game, but it's got a lot of great stuff going on in it. And
This was the equivalent of like Blizzard going, don't you guys have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
You can't be seriously saying this to your audience. Todd, come now.
the fans are responding awesome.
All right, Todd, I upgraded my PC. But I still can't turn on HDR or even mess with the brightness settings, even though the Xbox version already has HDR. And to get a decent frame rate, I have to use upscaling, but I have an NVIDIA card and you only have FSR supported with no DLSS. Oh, someone already modded DLSS into the game within like a couple days? Oh, programmers are making comprehensive breakdowns on Reddit detailing just how poorly optimized the game is?
Nah, if Todd said it's optimized, then it's probably optimized. I believe him. I will follow my Nord brother into the pearly gates of Sovngarde and finally graze my hand upon that holy leather.
Breaking news, as of November 15th, Bethesda is finally patching Starfield, adding an FOV slider, poorly implemented HDR, and much-needed DLSS support. Along with clear massive performance gains for both CPU and GPU areas, it's almost as if the game did in fact launch very unoptimized. The timing couldn't be better, 2 months after everyone already stopped playing it.
This game hurts my stupid giant head. I can't understand it. I can't seem to do anything right after experiencing this so-called game. Oh my god, I didn't even bring that up yet. God damn it.
In Starfield, you can build settlements, and you have more freedom than ever with building, but there's not a whole lot of motivators to interact with it other than harvesting resources from a planet largely void of life.
I
Add that to
know.
the super confusing structure of actually trying to connect your settlements across star systems and all the fast travel screens in between and your ship cargo and your inventory and getting over encumbered and ugh. In Fallout 4, it wasn't fun because the builder was good. Hell no. It's janky as hell and super frustrating. But it was fun because you were bringing life back into the apocalypse and building off of really cool existing unique structures. So
Exactly. Hit the nail right on his head there. Like, seriously, how are you going to be devolving a mechanic like this? Think about if a game like Satisfactory ended up playing the way that Bethesda's building system is. Holy shit.
so that the dumbass settlers could take back the land. But all of that was powered by the initial core desire of actually wanting to go out and explore and shoot stuff.
Oh yeah, that's right. You shoot guns in this game. Starfield also has guns.
But the perks.
Starfield has perks just like Fallout 4, and one of those perks is called Rapid Reload, and it does exactly what you think it would do. It makes your reloads faster.
At least that's what it should do. Going fast. Throw it on, Todd. Send me the bill. It's on the house.
The day, I'm sorry for pausing again, but like the day that I tried sliding, I got the sliding perk because obviously I was used to doing something like that in Cyberpunk 2077 and subsequent other first-person shooters, only to find out that the sliding mechanic makes you slower. What the fuck? This is truly one of the games of all time.
Later I'm playing the game and I throw my last grenade. I reload my gun, and it's way faster than usual. What's going on here? Come to find out, that perk hasn't worked the entire time I've had it, because evidently, if I have any sort of throwable equipped rapid reload, just doesn't work. I thought maybe I was alone, but nope. I looked it up, and apparently it's a common bug that, at least as of November 15th, still persists. Also, you know that text that appears at the top of the screen in Bethesda games when you're doing stealth that says hidden? Not only does this 2023 game use the same bare-bones stealth mechanics that are like 20 years old at this point, seeing that text up top, that's a perk now. And you can spend another whole ass perk point, and I quote, to upgrade the stealth meter, which just shows you if you're being close to being detected, which is basically exactly what the eye reticle thing already did in Skyrim.
Well, this is way better and worth spending the point, trust me.
The gunplay in Starfield is an improvement over Fallout 4, but that's like saying a bicycle is an improvement over a Razor scooter. It's still not an AK-47. The guns generally work a bit better with less delay. You're a bit more agile. You have a jetpack, which sometimes that can be fun. But as a shooter, in 2023, this game is still getting lapped by games from 2012. Hell, games from 2007, 2004. I'm serious. Sit down, play Starfield for an hour, and then go boot up Far Cry 3 or BioShock or Call of Duty 4 or any game in the orange box, and then go back to Starfield and tell me how it feels. Especially on controller, it just feels wrong. Fallout 4's shooting was barely serviceable only because of everything that surrounded it. It worked good enough because you got to explore a cool map and frequently fight cool, varied enemies using VATS. In Starfield, the cool map is gone.
And or getting into a power armor, where you then switch into third-person mode and then, kill your enemies.
predominantly brain-dead humanoid space pirates that will just stand there and let you shoot them. And VATS doesn't exist anymore, so the act of shooting someone needed to feel really, really good. Throw in the still clunky melee combat, the super unintuitive UI of menus inside of menus, and the D-pad weapon swapping from Fallout 4 because apparently having a weapon wheel might make the creation engine explode, and what you have is a worse version of something that you have already played
8 years ago. All right, so what about quests? Bethesda has always been so strongly associated with NPCs and quests.
Here's an example of the most common basic ass type of quest in Skyrim. Hey, can you go to this dungeon and kill a bad guy? All right, sounds good. You know what? I'm even just gonna walk over there because it's not that far. Whoa, what's this? A dragon in this economy? Well, I mean, I'm here. I may as well ladder stall tomahawk the dragon real quick. All right, that's done. What was that?
Where was I?
Right, the dungeon. Oh, well, hold on a second. There's a cave right here. I mean, I'm here.
20 minutes later.
All right, that was a pretty cool cave, and I feel like I got some cool shit out
Dungeon!
of that. Anyways, dungeon. All right, let me just stealth archer these freaks real quick. Get some loot. Okay.
Hey, Lydia.
That was a pretty enjoyable, fun hour of gameplay I just got to experience. Here's an example of the most common basic-ass type of quest in Starfield. Hey, we lost our scientist friends. Can you go find him? We don't know where he is because we don't have any walkie-talkies or email or texting or cell phones in this plan.
In this economy.
World. Yeah, sure, I guess. All right. Damn. He's kind of out there. Whatever. I'm sure some cool stuff will happen along the way.
5 minutes later.
Man,
Keep running.
I sure am getting pretty good at sprinting and jetpacking, and you know, I bet the cave will have like a cool monster in it or something.
Absolutely not.
Oh, it's literally just you. And now I have to take you back with me? Well, okay, apparently I can just fast travel back.
But
I
you
don't
can't.
take you with me. So I just went to tell you that your friends are looking for you, and now you're finding your own way back and going back. So why the hell did I even need to come find you in the first place? What the hell even is this game, dude? I shit you not.
And then you have to justify what happened to the space communication where radio's cut off. Like, there's nothing in there. There's literally nothing in there. Like, man, I cannot believe how some other games have so bad quests. Like, I will always use the example of the quest where Geralt needs to find Kira Metz in Velen, where, like, he asks this old man, like, where do I need to go?
A witch lives around here somewhere. You know her?
I do. From afar, that one, like yourself. But she listens, understands. Helpful. Not like the old witch. That one were deaf as a stump and mean to boot.
Know where I can find her?
Go to the pond. Wild swans swam there once. Trail starts there. Follow it to a great stone, drop where it lies by a devil that a farmer tricked into thinking it was a giant egg, then go right into the woods. Go past a destitute cart, and near it find the witch's hut.
Thanks.
He explained that you need to go past the rock. The rock is past the lake. And you need to take a right and follow the path and, like, exactly where you need to go.
There's the boulder. Now right, and onto the cart. Witch's hut is somewhere nearby.
Perfect quest with the right descriptors, and the rewards are exactly what you expect them to be. And that takes what? 5 minutes to write? Just a descriptor for the quest? Why can't they have that in here?
That type of quest pops up all the time, and even if it is an Operation Go Rescue Baby Scientist, it is something similarly mindless and uninspired. A lot of quests in Starfield just play out as a game of fast travel telephone, where you talk to one person and they're like, hey, go tell this person in another galaxy that I said this. And you're like, okay, and you go through several fast travel loading screens and land at a place and go through another loading screen and then walk through a city and get to another place and talk to them. And then you finally talk to the person and they're like, well, tell them that I said this. And so you do all of that again and you go through all the fast travel loading screens and the loading screens and the entering building loading screens and you're like, all right, well, they said this. And it's like, is this what we're doing now? Like, if I'm like 8 years old and you told me, like, take all the graphics and stuff away that, like, hey, this is what video games are gonna be like. I'd be like, what the fuck? And this game is not a super in-depth choice, complex,
It's not a CRPG.
rich dialogue CRPG. Like, I don't expect that from Bethesda, and that's fine. I never
Yeah,
have.
sure.
But if you're not that, and you're also not successfully doing the thing that largely defines your games, aka satisfying and rewarding open world exploration, then what the hell even are you? Like, I don't know what genre I would even call this game. Oh,
What the hell is even that?
no, I'm being
Arrested by the base police.
Collect on the bounty. Oh man, we're gonna talk about the bounty in a bit. That's really fun.
Oh no.
Right, well, sorry, gaming. Before the game came out, Phil Spencer, Xbox guy, said something along the lines of, I don't remember exactly, but it was like, I played it so many hours, whatever. I'm going full space pirate.
And I got excited when I heard this because I love game systems that let you fuck around and find out.
I'm sure some of you remember how I obsessed over the Wanted bounty system in Red Dead 2 because I just love pushing things and trying to understand how they mechanically work.
Bounty system. Oh, the auto cutoff. I suppose that's all some copyright stuff there, eh? Fucking YouTube. Let me guess. He got caught and most likely decided to do the smart thing. Don't try to take away your weapons, at least get your weapons back, but instead let yourself get arrested and try to negotiate your way out of things.
Hey, we don't actually want to throw you in jail, but we want you to be an informant in the space pirate fleet Departed style. You
right.
Fucking rat.
And you can choose to attack or continue the discussion.
Really did that.
It was a total bloodbath. Like, I killed so many dudes and I racked up such a high bounty, but I noticed that a lot of the named NPCs
you couldn't kill them.
Die when I shot them, which was a bit concerning, but I just kept on fighting. And eventually I fought my way all the way into the cockpit, and there was a second where I was like, oh shit, am I about to hijack this police ship and get the fuck out of here?
Nope.
Can't fly this ship. And before people go in the comments and say, oh, it's because you got to upgrade your pilot license thing. Nope. You still can't fly it. You can't fly this ship, or a whole lot of other ships for that matter, no matter what. Just like you can't kill a lot of NPCs, no matter what, because Bethesda wants you to do space their way.
This ship isn't exclusive to just that quest either.
If you've played the game, you know that a lot of the times when you land on a planet, another ship will coincidentally land around the same time, and you can see them and run over there and fight them. And you would assume, I just killed all these pirates. All right, logical next step, loot the ship, take the ship. But a lot of the time, not every time, but a lot of the time, at least for me, just wouldn't let me. Most of the time I just saw this prompt and I didn't know why. So that bounty I mentioned during the shootout with the space cops, yeah, it's very easy to quickly rack up a very high bounty in this game. And whenever you travel to a planet that has a major city, they do a forced contraband scan on your ship before you can land.
Do I even like video games anymore?
They also check to see if you have a bounty in that star system. Contraband can be hidden to help avoid detection on the scan, but it requires having hidden cargo space on your ship.
Why am I here?
Freaking Star Sector is laughing at this. Oh man, what a game design.
Why am I doing any of this?
Normal items that you can pickpocket or steal aren't marked as contraband, but they are marked as stolen items, and they have this little red icon, but contraband items always have this orange icon because it means they're extra illegal.
Help me.
So let's start here. Say you want to be a grimy little space thief, so you're constantly pickpocketing and stealing stuff wherever you go. In typical Bethesda fashion, a lot of the time, if you're sneaking and stealing, you won't get caught stealing.
You criminal scum.
Point on the stealth thing, but oops, sometimes you just do get detected, even if no one is around to witness you murder that person except that person, or no one is around to witness you steal that cup except that cup. Suddenly, everyone in the galaxy knows that it was specifically you that stole that cup, even though apparently cell phones or email or fax machines don't exist based on the context of most of our fucking quest objectives.
I don't want to do this anymore. Please let me go.
So now you have a bounty in that star system, and then you're like, well, if I already have the bounty, then I guess I'll just keep doing it. And if anyone gets in my way, I'll shoot him because I'm a freak. That's my identity now. I'm a freak. I wasn't born this way, but I was molded by Todd and his clothes and his leather. So you're traveling around.
Like, they couldn't even go so far as to find like some stupid excuse saying that, oh, we're gonna do a Norman Reedus here with Death Stranding, where the connections through the internet has been broken down, so you actually need to walk to your targets, to the people, and reconnect space and time, because yes, New Games Plus allows you to be yourself again. Okay, that phrasing sounded hella stupid.
Stealing stuff from all these planets, trying to have a grand old time, and your bounty is getting pretty stacked. But oh shit, there's a main story mission in a city that you haven't been to yet, in a star system that you have that giant bounty in. You get scanned, the cops are pissed. You can choose to fight them off and drive fast travel away, but if you want to ever enter that city, you're gonna have to do something about that bounty. So you warp back, and this time you're like, all right, well, I can't pay the bounty because it's insane, so I guess take me to jail. And when you go to jail in this game, the cops will not only remove every single item from your inventory that was ever stolen, which slowly lists away at the top of the screen one by one, which this is never explained in the game as like some lore accurate space technology.
It leaves you with the rest.
It's just magic where a cop 4 planets away knows that you stole this specific pen. But your punishment for jail time is an XP debt. It will never lower your current level, but it will erase any current XP progress that you've made towards leveling up, and potentially even put you into the negative as well, if it's high enough.
Which it will be.
This is kind of like how jail time in Oblivion could randomly lower some of your skills. Starfield says, hey, we know we can't actually force the player to sit in a jail cell, but we want there to be some sort of consequence for it being bad. And part of me is like, damn, that's actually kind of interesting and creative, except leveling up takes a long ass time in this game. For example, to level from level 10 to level 11, it's around 900 XP, and it only gets exponentially more grindy the higher you get. So if you have a high bounty, hard to get, you will be in this much debt. Have fun crawling out of that hole, you filthy little pirate bitch. It's also worth noting that much like a lot of stuff in this game, this mechanic is barely explained at all, and the only way to realize that you are in XP debt or track it is to look at the status screen.
I understand having some sort of punishment for doing something bad and getting caught. I really do.
But when leveling is this grindy, and the perks you get from leveling up don't actually work, or just straight up aren't worth it.
There's no point in it.
The game requires you to be scanned in order to land on certain planets, because you can't actually just fucking fly the ship to the planet in this goddamn space game. Being punished this harshly for choosing a playstyle that is supposed to be viable in this so-called RPG is just super disappointing.
Starfield would be a disappointment regardless of whatever year it came out, but unfortunately for Bethesda, 2023 was obscenely stacked with fantastic games in each of those specific genres that Starfield takes turns cosplaying as.
I know.
It's an open world exploration game with little to no actual meaningful exploration. It is a glorified looter shooter that is still catching up to games that are now old enough to be in high school. And it is a role
Oh my god. Oh my god.
playing game with so few meaningful roles to actually play and relationships to engage with.
I really want to like this game. I am always going to cheer for Todd and Bethesda because they have given me so many amazing, memorable experiences for the past 20 years that have largely influenced my love for gaming. I want the next Elder Scrolls game to knock it out of the park. I will always root for anyone trying to make an ambitious video game.
But after seeing what Bethesda has put out over the last decade, I just couldn't contain these thoughts and feelings any longer.
I hope this video was at least kind of interesting, or at the very least digestible in a way that sort of made sense, even though I feel like I should be in the psych ward. If you could still see me right now, thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you next time. This is actually my off-road ball because when I was filming the campfire scenes, my dumbass didn't realize that a yoga ball that I've been using for like 6 years shouldn't go out in the woods where there's like prickly goat head things, and I popped a bunch of holes in it. But fortunately, my sister, the same one that I stole the original yoga ball from, had another gray yoga ball that's like got a bunch of ribs on it. So this my off-road ball. Also, I only realized recently that there's like no aliens in Starfield, like big-eyed gray fuckers from Signs, not a single one.
Here's the way that I look at it. I'm a sucker for redemption stories. We have Halo games with Sean Murray stepping on stage also recently with the Game Awards, hyping up his new games, to which everybody's just urging him to please don't overhype it. Please don't do it. Do you have redemption? And I could run through that without all of the loading screens. Like, it's unfathomable that this game came out at that point and was hyped by the staff themselves, right? Like, we gotta stop trying to make excuses for Bethesda saying that, oh, well, they never mentioned this in their advertisement, so we can't hold them accountable for it. We definitely can, okay? Seriously, for a modern game, they gotta stop doing certain practices. Like, it's bad. But yeah, Starfield is one hell of a blunder. The people who are enjoying the game enjoy the game. I just really hate the fact that, especially now with the whole thing of them bringing back paid mods and wanting to capitalize on the work of the modders. Wow. Again, another phrasing that sounded kind of wrong. The work of the mums. The modding community. They're doing it bad. But guys, let me know what you thought about this video. What are your thoughts on Bethesda and all? Leave it in the comment section below. And of course, please do make sure to go and subscribe to NakeyJakey. And yeah, like that very video on this channel. That said though, we sure to have a wonderful day. See you guys in the next one. Bye.